Dear Lord, I hope you hear my prayers, because we really, really need you down here. From all the pain that we go through, we know that you're real, so can you fall through? Father, have mercy when we call on you. Mercy when we call on you. But I just want to fall on you. So the power she waiting and to play with. I wish mature enough to say the same shit. Dear Lord, I hope you hear my prayers. Really, really need you in the play from all the pain that we go through. Say the same shit. Really, I hope you hear my prayers. So the power she waiting and to play with. I was mature enough to say the same shit. Yeah. Go ahead. Come on, West. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Look, I keep it low to the T. UPK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother way. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Go ahead. This shit is so easy. I'm on gold, but they don't believe me. You know I'm winning with the team. Screaming Vinny, V's. Hear them devils screaming out bloody murder. I'm about to close the curtain. On my grind, bitch, I'm working. Sorry, all them lies, it ain't working. You niggas weak, they be churching. I'm a West nigga, that's for certain. When he cross the line, I'm gonna back up and I'ma hit his ass with his virus. And I come through 300 strong, 144 Leonidas. All my niggas, we eat. I'm in this bitch with the itis. Say, all y'all do the street. Jay Hollis do the street. The nigga made the wrong move, he ain't make his ass out the league. He ain't one of us hit the lead. He ain't one of us here preach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. Go ahead, I keep it low to the T. UPK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother wave. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all.
All right, Shalom Israel. Y'all Bashim Shabbat all the brothers. Y'all Shemal Thon Bashim Yashad, all the sisters. Shalom Canada. I'm Priest and Officer YAHANNA under Commanding General YAHANNA. And we are the I.S.U.P.K, which was started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. All right. Shalom Canada. This is Tuesday's Night Brotherhood class. Make sure you hit those sign-in links. Make sure you hit the sign-out link before you leave the class. All right. And stay tuned. We got a video we're going to share. We got the Lord's annual Passover coming up, 53rd annual Passover. Going to play a quick promotion video. This upcoming year's Passover is going to be held in Cocoa Beach, Florida. All right, so make sure you pay attention to this promo video. If you want to come, get a hold of your camp leader. All right. You can send a message to me while you're watching this stream. Send a message to me while you're watching this stream. You can look in our description. We got a link to our email. You can send an email if you want more information. Again, if you're a brother or sister in the school, just get a hold of your camp leader, all right? All right.
I.S.U.P.K 53rd Annual Lord Passover. 53rd annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You are here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God. Someone to save you.
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we talk that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
Here's a lot of men down. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I sided with the Lord.
Comes with all your dishes, pots, pans, forks, knives.
I kind of like this. This is like an apartment and a hotel. You know what I mean? Yeah. This here right here is about to be holy ground. This will be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the grades. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.
We don't give a fuck. You can see it in our faces. Got it out the book. Straight up out the base.
Come, Most High in Christ. All right, that's the 53rd annual Passover coming up. All right, again, make sure you hit up your camp leader. Hit up a camp leader or an officer near you to get more information on that, to make sure that you get your tickets and that you get down there. All right. So we're going to get into Tuesday's night Brotherhood class. Shalom, Barak Yalla, Yabashim Yashar Barakatha. The water for tuning in. Quick shout out to the chat. Shalom, Charlene, Yahweh Shemalatha, Bashim Al-Shai. The water for tuning in, sis. Voyant, Gabriel. If you're a brother, Yahweh Bashim Yashar Barakatha. And to the sister, Ra'ayah. Shalom, sis. Yahweh Shemalatha. All the fun about Shimi Al-Shai, the water for tuning in. All right, again, this is Tuesday night Brotherhood class. All right, and we're gonna get right into it.
So,
Come.
Gabrielle in the chat is a so-called fortune teller.
You say a so-called okay, Salaki. I can't read French. But yeah, no sweat. We'll just go on with the class. So we're gonna get right into it. All right, brotherhood is very important for our people, very important for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. It is something that we are missing. It is something that we need to fix our communities. All right. When you think of brotherhood, it's synonymous with sisterhood. And you should think about, the best way to think about it is a family. When you think of brotherhood, think of a family. Brothers and sisters getting along, fathers and sons, mothers and daughters, right? Cousins, family, just everybody getting along. All right. The nation of Israel, who are Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we are all family. Right? We make up one nation. Right? We all descend from one of Jacob's 12 sons. You understand? We are all family. We're all blood. And that's exactly what the Most High commanded Adam to do right from the beginning. Right? He said to cleave unto his wife. Cleave unto his wife, be fruitful and multiply, and start his own family. And through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that is where blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans come from. We are all family. And we need to learn to work together. We need to learn how to love each other. We need to learn how to love ourselves and love the Most High. All right, it is something we are missing. Matter of fact, we'll start off with a video, just to kind of give a foundation to the class. All right, the I.S.U.P.K does not own the rights to this video. All right, we do not own the rights to this video. We are just playing this video for teaching purposes. Salakia.
Tell me what the most toxic thing you've done to someone is.
All right, so this video, this is just a short video, nothing too heavy, but it is something that goes on in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community, and it is something that we need to fix. One of the many things that we need to fix. All right.
Tell me what the most toxic thing you've done to someone is.
So this sister just made a video, and she said, tell me the most toxic thing in a relationship that you've ever done. All right. And this sister right here is about to give her answer.
I didn't want my baby daddy going out with his friends no more because I told him that they weren't really his friends.
All right. So she speaks a little fast. She says she didn't want her baby's daddy hanging around his friends anymore because she told him they were not real friends.
And he told me that they actually was, so I fucked his best friend.
And he told his girl that they are his friends. The brothers he hang out with, they are his friends, right? They're his homies. They're all cool. And she says, oh, yeah? So she went on to sleep with one of his best friends, one of his so-called best friends.
And now they're not best friends, and his best friend is dead.
And she says, and now they are not best friends, and his so-called best friend is now dead. All right. True story or not, I don't know, but I can tell you that there are definitely stories I hear like this, that you hear like this in the world. All right. Wouldn't put it past anybody that you know somebody close to you. You had a friend in the world who was like this, or something, or you heard some kind of story with some kind of relative where something like this took place. Right? I know I have. And so this is just a whole bunch of drama. Right? This is a whole bunch of drama, a whole bunch of chaos. Right? This woman sleeps out on her man, sleeps out on her husband, who we know is her husband. Right? Because according to the Bible, once you have sex, that is your wife, that is your husband. That brother is to rule over you according to the scriptures the minute you lay down together. And so she goes on to prove that his friends are not really his friends and sleeps with one of them. That's the first thing. Now, according to the Bible, Salaki Brakal, if you could grab that verse for me. Christ said, let me find that for you, Salaki. In the book of Matthew, Matthew 19, Matthew 19 and verse 8.
Khan. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 8. He said unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives, but from the beginning it was not so.
But from the beginning it was not so. The Most High did not want blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to go through divorce. You understand? The Most High did not want the children of Israel to be throwing their wives away. He wanted blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans loving each other, suffering each other, protecting each other, not abandoning one another. That is what the Most High wanted for us from the beginning. Keep reading.
Verse 9. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committed adultery.
God. The Most High is telling blacks, Hispanics, and Native American men, you are not allowed to put your wife away. You are not allowed to divorce your wife. You are not allowed to throw that woman away. The I.S.U.P.K, we teach sex is marriage. And in the world, when you hear that sex is marriage, it sounds so foreign. It sounds like the I.S.U.P.K is saying, just go run around and have sex with everybody and everything. But it is the total opposite. You just take a second to think about it. If you laid down with a sister, and you understand that when you lay down with her, you are not allowed to throw her away, that might make you think twice about who you lay down with. It should make you want to slow down, court a sister, get to know a sister, know how she acts in different situations, right? Just learn a little bit about her and understand that the minute you lay down with her, she is yours for life. This is a woman you're going to guide, protect, and teach for the rest of your life. You understand? Just that one concept alone would change, would fix so much of the over-sexualization that goes on in our communities, that goes on in the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian community. And it would hold brothers accountable. Hold brothers accountable to say, 2 years, or let's say 10 years down the road, 10 years in the marriage, you start getting tired of your wife. Maybe what you say in the world, quote unquote, fall out of love with her. Another sister aggravates you and you don't like talking to her and you don't want to deal with her. Well, guess what, coward? You are not allowed to throw her away. You are not allowed to throw that woman away. You got to protect that woman until the day you die. Because if you do, you have committed adultery. You have done something that is worthy of death, worthy of being stoned to death. You have done something that disgusts the Most High. Right? Keep reading.
And whosoever married her which is put away doth commit adultery.
Keep reading.
Verse 10. His disciples say unto him, if the case of the man be so with his wife, it is not good to marry.
Salaki, 1 second. Read verse 9 again, Baba Kishar.
Khan, Matthew chapter 19, verse 9. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication.
Except it be for fornication. You understand? And that's something that we have to understand. Sisters, you cannot go and sleep with another man. Brothers, you cannot go and sleep with another man's wife. And if you do, you are allowed to put that sister away. That's according to the law. You understand? That's according to the words of a prophet. This sister right here, she stepped out on her husband. And if you're a brother, you're ordered to put that sister away. Right? What was the second thing she said? She said, so she sleeps with his brother's friend or her husband's friend. Let me play that video from the top. And quick shout out to the chat. Shalom Azaniyah, Yahabashim Shabrakatha. The water for tuning in. Shalom Leo, Yahabashim Shabrakatha. The water for tuning in. Make sure you hit those sign-in links. Like, share, and subscribe to our page. All right. Let's play this video from the top.
Tell me what the most toxic thing you've done to someone is.
I didn't want my baby daddy going out with his friends no more because I told him that they weren't really his friends. And he told me that they actually was, so I fucked his best friend. And now they're not best friends, and his best friend is dead.
Good night.
Salakia.
Right. Khan, you want to say something?
Nah, I don't. I'm just saying Salakia because, damn, that's just wicked the way she thinks, the way she acted, you know?
Khan, and that's how everybody thinks in the world. You understand? That's how people in the world think. They don't have anything that guides them from what's right or wrong. They don't have a rule book on what to follow. Right? Even Christians have a set of rules and they don't keep none of them.
It's Salakia.
Khan, go ahead.
It's like she's saying his friends were not worth having as friends. But the way she acted, it's like she was not worth having as a wife either, right?
Damn right. Absolutely. Yeah, she is definitely not fit to be a wife, worthy to be a brother's wife. Right? To usurp authority over her husband, to tell him who he can and can't hang out with, who he can and who he should and shouldn't hang out with. Yeah? That's a brother's job to protect his family. Right? And of course, there's nothing wrong with a sister, a righteous daughter of Zion, letting her husband know something that she thinks is best. But that's her husband's decision to make that call. For her to go above her husband and to make a point, that's disgusting. What she did was disgusting. And not only that, she was right. That brother, his friends, so-called friends in the world, at least the one that she laid down with, that is definitely not that brother's friend.
Khan.
You understand? And that's what we're dealing with in the world. That's what all of us were dealing with before we came in this school. This is how people act. This is how people think. And these are the things, this is the whole point of this brotherhood class. These are the things that we need to change. These are the things that we need to fix. Right? You get into school, right? You get to the point where you read a verse like in the book of Ecclesiasticus where it says, late or sit not at all with a woman, right? Or sit not at all with another brother's wife, right? What business do you have sitting down and talking with another man's wife, right? Getting friendly with her and listening to all her stories, all her sad stories, and consoling her, right? Pouring that sister a drink and having a shot with her. And what business does a man have doing that with another man's wife? The ISUPK, we don't do that because we understand what can happen. We understand where a situation could lead to. The ISUPK, we have morals, we have rules, we have laws that we abide by. And those laws are all about brotherhood. You understand? Matter of fact, let's pull that verse up. We could go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 9 and verse 9.
Khan. It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 9, verse 9. Sit not at all with another man's wife.
Sit not at all with another man's wife. Go ahead and finish up the verse.
Nor sit down with her in thy arms. And spend not thy money with her at wine, lest thine heart incline unto her, and so thorough thy desire thou fall into destruction.
God. Most High is telling you to love yourself, to love your brother, and to love his wife. Don't do something where you're going to fall into destruction. Don't mess with another man's marriage. Don't destroy your relationship with your brother. Don't cause enmity between you and your brother over some woman's nonsense. These scriptures that we read in the Bible is all about brotherhood, all about sisterhood, all about how we treat each other. You understand? And the title of today's topic is Brotherhood is Obedience. We got to understand as a people that if we would just obey this Bible, if we would just obey our Father, obey the Most High, obey Christ, obey the prophets, the men of the Lord that the Most High sent, then we would in turn love our people. What we got to understand about brotherhood is all about how we gain a brother. Right? You've been tuning into our classes. You've probably heard 100 times. If your brother offends you, go to him and him alone. And if he hears you, you've gained a brother. One of the whole purposes of brotherhood is how do we gain our brother? How do we gain our sister? How do we stay connected as a family? All right. Can you grab Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1?
Wakan.
How do we gain our brother? How do we gain our sister? How do we stop the enmity between each other? How do we stop the fighting between each other? How do we tear down the walls that divide us as a people? You understand? Go ahead and read that verse when you got it.
Is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
Gather yourselves together. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, gather yourselves together. Don't throw each other away. Don't abandon one another. But gather together. We're all family. How do we join this family back together? What is it that we have to do to join this family back together? Read that again.
Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
Right. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the nation that is undesired. We are the nation that everybody looks down on. We are the nation living in the ghettos, barrios, and reservations, walking around just destroying ourselves. You ask a Black, Hispanic, or Native American brother about all the trauma that they went through growing up, all the chaos, all the misery, all the fighting. They are going to talk about what they went through with another Black, Hispanic, and Native American. Why? Because our households are destroyed. The ghetto is the way it is because of how we act. The reservations are the way they are because of how we act. And we need to fix that as a people. Read that one more time.
Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
Calm. Doesn't say for all Crips to gather together. Doesn't say for all Bloods to gather together. The Bible doesn't say all dark-skinned Negroes gather together. All light-skinned Negroes gather together. It says, O nation not desired. Let's fix our family and gather together. That is what the Bible is ordering us to do. That's what the Most High is ordering us to do. To tear down the walls that are between us. To fix all those deep hurts that we have. To heal ourselves as a people and learn how to treat each other. Right? You grab Matthew 22 and verse 37.
Wakan.
Got one more video I'm going to share quick.
I never dated a black guy, I never will. They all call me racist. I am not racist. Yeah.
Okay, she says, I will never date a black guy and I never will.
Salakia. She's wicked.
God. And this isn't the first sister to say that. She won't be the last. I know people.
Salakia.
Come on, go ahead.
A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog.
Come. Absolutely. All of us as a people got to get in order. Right? I'm not playing these videos to just put down black women. I'm just shedding some light on some of the things that go on in our communities. A lot of women, I shouldn't say a lot of women in my family. I know a couple women in my family that have said, I will never date a black man. Got some younger cousins. They say, I'll never marry a black man. And it's because of all the stuff that they saw in our family. This uncle did this. This father left here. So-and-so's father left him here and did this. And heard growing up about how terrible the black man was, how terrible her father was. And some of these sisters hear that over and over, thinking that all these black men are wicked and evil. And the solution is to throw them away. Our brothers don't get a pass either. A lot of these brothers think that they've made it when they go marry Becky. Martin Luther King thought loving that white woman was his ticket out of slavery. Like that white woman is, or Salaki, that oppressor is some trophy. Kanye West marrying his oppressor, like that was some trophy. That's Salaki Brakia Allah. I cannot stop seeing different news feed on Kanye West and Kim Kardashian.
Khan.
Everywhere I look, Kanye West, Kim Kardashian, and all the drama of their divorce. You thought marrying that woman was your trophy. You thought marrying that woman, you would escape all the drama that you had to deal with all those black women. All the daughters of Zion, you just throw them away and marry something better. One of the last articles I saw between them was Kim Kardashian doesn't want Kanye West to see his daughter at her birthday party. So lucky, I saw another video earlier where Becky was crying, screaming bloody murder on her balcony about how her man is abusing her. And he's beating her and she's trying to run and hide. She's on the phone with the police, telling the police that her husband is beating her and abusing her. She's trying to run away from him and hide from him, and she needs help. She starts screaming at the top of her lungs she needs help to the police. Meanwhile, her husband's just sitting there videotaping, saying, something's wrong with this woman. He's sitting there laughing at her like she's crazy, saying, I've never touched you in my life. And she's sitting there lying, curled up in a ball on her balcony. You think you married Becky that you're going to get something better, and you are not. She's going to call the police on you and get you locked up just as fast as one of your sisters. All right? Salaki, I'll let this video play.
I never dated a black guy, I never will. They all call me racist. I am not racist. Yeah. I've only had white sticks to me, that's how like they all call me racist. I am not racist. Just because I say black guys are ugly and ghetto, that doesn't make me racist. It's a personal preference. You know what I mean? I date who I want to date. I hate when black guys try to hit on me. I hate when Mexican guys try to hit on me. No! Hot, sexy white guys only. Right, Patrick?
Yeah, I like that.
Good. Mason, have you ever hooked up with a black girl?
I have.
Oh, he said he has. Actually,
darker than me, the sweeter the juice.
what? And actually, Patrick, I'm not black. I'm tan. I'm dark tan. Like I'm dark tan.
Really tan.
I'm just like I'm literally like dark tan. Yeah.
The tanning bed every day.
Yeah, I'm like dark tan.
Salaki, get that garbage off of there. Come on, go ahead.
She says she's not black, she's dark skinned.
Okay.
Also, the way she describes it, it clearly defines that she hates herself.
Okay.
Because she said she only liked white boys, and she said black guys are ugly. She clearly hates her own people.
Come on, sis. She said she is not black, she is tan. So Salaki. She thinks going ahead and marrying her oppressor is gonna change her life. Like it's gonna get her out the hood, it's gonna get her out the ghetto. It's gonna give her some better life. Trying to deny her roots, who she is and where she comes from. This is the state of our people. Yeah. Come on, Leo. Come on, that's our destruction. Salaki, a quick side story. Even looking at her hair, she got that long, straight, stringy hair, blonde, stringy hair with that weave on. The weave or the wig. And I remember driving down Toronto one time after work, and I remember seeing this brother. I saw this brother holding hands with who I thought was an oppressor. I was driving by just thinking, man, it's a shame what our brothers are doing, throwing away our women, throwing away our sisters. And as I drive past, I see the sister turn her head, and I'm like, oh, shoot, this is a sister. This is a sister who's trying to, like, bleach her skin. She has long blonde hair running down her head. I thought it was Becky he was holding hands with. Right? That's absolutely our destruction, and it's absolutely a damn shame what's going on in our community. Right? But in the I.S.U.P.K, we have the answers to all of this. We have the solutions for all of this. For the first time as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are choosing to just throw away the different philosophies in this world and just do what the Bible says. Just do what the Bible says and see what it does for us. Brachiala, can you grab Romans 9 and verse 13?
Khan, I was also holding Matthew 22 and 37.
Khan, read Romans 9 and 13 for me really quick. We'll jump back to the book of Matthew.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 13. For this is Salakia. For this is the word of Salakia. Chapter
That's
9,
Romans
verse 13. As
Khan,
it
go
is
ahead.
written,
Khan.
as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
Khan. The Most High loves blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That is all through the Bible. You can read about it in the book of Amos. Out of all the families of the earth, only us has he known. Read through Deuteronomy. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are above all people on the face of the earth. What in the hell are our sisters doing trying to be like their oppressor? What are we doing as a people throwing away our brothers, throwing away our sisters, marrying women from a strange nation? The Bible says we are the salt of the earth. Salt has flavor. That's one of the ways you can tell who a child of God is, who an Israelite is. You see a black, Hispanic, and Native American just walking with some flavor, talking with some flavor, cooking with some flavor, rapping, singing, playing ball, whatever it may be. The way we speak, the way we dress, everything we do has flavor. Why would you throw each other away? You understand? Matter of fact, keep holding Matthew for me, Baba Kasha, and jump to the book of Slocky. One sec. Go to the book of Tobit, chapter 4 and verse 12.
Khan.
Tobit, chapter 4 and verse 12.
Is the book of Tobit, chapter 4, verse 12. Beware of all the whoredom, my son.
Khan, beware of whoredom, my son. This is a father speaking to his son, giving his son some wisdom, some knowledge, some understanding. He's telling his son how to protect himself, showing his son brotherhood, being a good father to his son. He's saying, beware of whoredom, my son. Keep reading.
And chiefly take a wife.
Most importantly, pay attention to this. Read that one more time.
And chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers.
And chiefly, most importantly, marry a black, Hispanic, and Native American woman. Marry a woman from your family, from your tribe, from your nation. Don't marry a heathen woman, because there's destruction in that. Keep reading.
And take not a strange woman to wife.
Don't marry a heathen woman. Kanye West should have never married that devil. That sister in that video should stay far away from her oppressor. Keep reading.
Which is not of thy father's tribe.
Read.
For we are the children of the prophets.
For
No,
we are the children of what?
for we are the children of the prophets.
We are Yasharallah, princes of the power, daughters of Zion. We are children of the prophets. We are that nation that is above all people on the face of the earth. We should be walking around with our heads up. We should be gathered together, showing these other nations how it is we are to treat each other. We are the children of prophets, children of famous people. Think of everybody in the world. How many people in the world are following that Judaism religion? How many people in the world are following the Christian religion? How many people are following the Islam religion? In the world, they call this the Abrahamic religions. The whole world knows who your forefather is. The whole world knows your forefather Abraham. And they know him because he obeyed the Most High. We are the children of prophets, famous people. Understand who you are. What is Kanye West doing marrying a dog? Marrying a heathen? We are the children of prophets. Keep reading.
Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Khan. These are all famous men. Righteous brothers. Keep reading.
Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred.
Khan. This is brotherhood. This is sisterhood. They obeyed the Most High. They married women of their own kindred. They didn't throw their sisters away. Keep reading.
And were blessed in their children.
Read.
And their seed shall inherit the land.
God. They were blessed for what they did. Look at Noah. Noah was upright. Noah was righteous in the sight of the Most High. He kept the laws, statutes, and commandments. And that's who our forefather is. That's what we need to get back to. To gather ourselves together and learn how to deal with one another. Right? Let's jump back to the book of Matthew. Matthew 22 and verse 37.
Matthew chapter 22, verse 37. Yahweh said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind.
Salaki, one sec. Let me catch up with you. Jump up to verse 36.
Verse 36. Master, which is the great commandment in the law?
God. Somebody was asking Christ, what is the great commandment in the law? What is something that we should pay attention to? Something that we should focus on. Keep reading.
Verse 37. Yahweh said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind.
If you are Black, Hispanic, or Native American, you are ordered to love the Most High with all your heart, your soul, and your mind. You are ordered to put the Most High first in everything. That is one of the great commandments in the law. Keep reading.
Verse 38. This is the first and great commandment.
God. That is the first and great commandment. Keep reading.
Verse 39. And the second is like unto it.
And the second
Thou
is
shalt
what?
love him. Is like unto it.
What does that mean, Brock? Allah? The second is like unto it.
It's as important as the first one.
Okay. Khan, that's a good answer. It's as important as the first one. That's a good answer. But what I'll say is more importantly, or not more importantly, but a better way that I would teach that is that when it says the second is like unto it, is that it's pretty much the same thing.
Khan.
It's not so much that it's as important, but Christ is about to give another law that it's pretty much the same thing. It's just like it. It's similar to the first. It's absolutely just as important as you said, but it's similar. It's almost the same thing. Keep reading.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Khan, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. What does that mean? Loving your neighbor as yourself is basically the same thing as putting the Most High first. As loving the Most High with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind.
Salak, one.
Khan.
Out of scripture.
Khan, go ahead.
This is to piggyback off of Matthew 22 and 37. It's 2 John chapter 1 verse 6. It reads, and this is love, that we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment, that as ye have heard from the beginning, you should walk in it.
Khan, so John the Revelator right there was saying, or Salaki, is that red letter?
Salaki, I don't have the red letters in my Bible. I don't want.
Okay, I'm not going to go there right now, but what we're reading in 2 John in verse 6, it says that this is love, to keep the commandments. Right? Salakia, shout out to Officers Abadia, Shalom Adawan, Yabashim Shabrakatha.
Yabashim Shabrakatha.
Right? So in the book of John, verse 6, the 2nd John, verse 6, he's saying that this is love. This is the definition of love. This is what it means to love your brother or sister. To keep the commandments. Right? Now, Barak Ya Allah, there is a commandment that says, thou shalt not steal. how would you connect "Thou shalt not steal" to loving the Most High with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind?
Well, if you disobey the commandment, thou shalt not steal, then you don't love the Most High, because loving the Most High is obeying the commandments, the law, statutes, and commandments.
Close. You say, Salaki, one more time. You said loving the Most High is keeping the commandments, right?
Kana wakan.
Now, Christ said, loving your neighbor or loving your neighbor as yourself is the same thing as loving the Most High first, as loving the Most High with all your heart, soul, and your mind, right? So, Salaki, we got to answer in the chat. We got, because stealing is hurting your neighbor. Absolutely. Now bring me home. Who is your neighbor?
A fellow black, Hispanic, or Native Indian men or women.
Khan, bring me home. What is this class about?
Brotherhood.
Khan. Because stealing is hurting your brother.
Kana wakan.
Right? Grab 1 John chapter 4 and verse 20.
Kana wakan.
This is something that we need to understand as a people.
First John chapter 4, verse 20. If a man say, I love God, and hated his brother,
If
he
a
is a
man
liar.
say he loves God, if your Christian pastor says, I love God with all my heart, all my soul, all my mind. Keep reading.
And hated his brother, he is a liar.
And he hates his brother. He steals from his brother. He is a liar. Because loving the Most High is loving your brother. And loving your brother is loving the Most High. It is the same thing. You understand, Barak Yalla?
Kana wakan.
Jump back to Matthew 22 and verse 37. Read that one more time.
Matthew chapter 22, verse 37. Yahushua said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind.
There was a brother who came up to Christ and said, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Yahushua told him, love the Most High with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind. Keep reading.
Verse 38. This is the first and great commandment.
Read.
Verse 39. And the second is unto it.
And the second is the exact same thing. These two commandments are the same thing. Keep reading.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Because loving the Most High is loving your brother. Being obedient to the Most High is loving your brother. When you do what the Most High says, you are loving your brother. The Most High says it is unlawful to eat crab. If you eat crab, you are not loving yourself and you are not loving your people. Why? Because your body is a temple. If you're sleeping with another man's wife, you are not loving God, because you are not loving your brother. It is the same thing. You're putting your hands on your wife. You are not loving God. You're disrespecting your husband. You are not loving the Most High. Brotherhood is obedience. Brotherhood and sisterhood is doing what the Most High commands, doing what the Most High says. You understand? Like Officer Zabadia said, if you love God, you love your brothers. It's the same thing. You love God, you love your brothers. And if you're loving your brothers, you're loving God. Come, the water out of one. This Bible is all about rules. It's all about obedience. It's all about how we treat each other as a people. Can you grab Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 7?
Khan.
Leviticus 19.
This is the book of
19 verse
Leviticus.
17. Salakia.
Khan. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. That is an order from the Most High. Obedience is brotherhood. Doing what the Most High says is brotherhood. You are not allowed to hate your brother. You're not allowed to marry a woman from another nation. You're a sister. You're not allowed to marry a brother or a man from another nation. Why? Because that's in the law. And the law is brotherhood. We're reading out of the law right now. That's why it's called Leviticus. This is the book of the law. Read that again from the top.
Khan, Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
That was an order from the Most High. To love one another. You understand? And what is love? Love is suffering. Love is bearing all things. Love is being slow to anger. Love is being kind. Love is being compassionate. Love is not abandoning one another. We are not allowed to do that. We're ordered to keep these laws and to love each other the way the Most High commands. Keep reading.
Thou shalt not in any wise rebuke thy neighbor,
Read.
and not suffer sin upon him.
Come. Paul said, though I be rude in speech, we got to be in love with these laws. If we're going to love our people, we got to love the truth. See a brother or sister doing something they shouldn't be doing, we got to correct one another. Let each other know that shrimp is bad for you. That pork is bad for you. Those cigarettes are killing you. Watch the way we speak to one another. Watch the words we say. Watch what we text. Watch how we conduct ourselves as a people. How can you look at your kids and say that you love them And when you see them gonna go put their hand on a stove, they're going near some boiling water, are you gonna look at your child and say, I love you, even after you said nothing and let them burn themselves? You're gonna look at your child and say, I love you, after you've let them go 3 days without food? That's what the Christian church does. First John in chapter 4 and verse 20 says, if you say you love God but hate your brother, you're a liar. Barak Ya'Allah, have you ever had somebody look at you and tell you that they love you after they've done some disgusting thing to you?
Khan.
God. Have you ever looked at somebody and told them that you love them after you did some disgusting thing to them?
Lot one.
Nah, Most High in Christ. Right? Salaki, confession's good for the soul. In the world, I told a lot of sisters I love them. Told a lot of sisters in the world I love them and threw them away. You understand? You get told, somebody tells you they love you after they've done some disgusting thing to you. You look at them and say, oh, that's bullshit. I don't believe you. You're wrestling in your head. There's no way this woman loves me. She just did that, and that. Lying through her damn teeth. That's what we do in the world. That's what Christians do every day. They tell you they love you, but they don't treat you the way you should be treated. Why? Because they are disobedient. They don't do what the Most High says. They don't do what the Most High commands. Keep reading.
And not suffer sin upon him.
Read.
Verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
You are not allowed to avenge. You are not allowed to bear a grudge. Right? Salakia, to some of the sisters out there, some of you can hold a grudge. Bring up things that happened 10 years ago like it happened yesterday. You understand? We are not allowed to do this. Because if we are bearing a grudge, if we're taking vengeance, avenging one another for the things that have happened, you're not loving your people, and you're not loving God. And this brotherhood, this family, will never stay connected if we don't act this way. This brotherhood will never stay united if we don't obey the Most High. You understand? Keep reading.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord.
Shall love thy neighbor as thyself. You are commanded from the Most High to love your neighbor as yourself. The Most High is ordering Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to have some compassion for one another. To look at another brother or sister and say, I wouldn't want to go through that. So why would I make my brother or sister go through that? My brother or sister, they're thirsty, or Salakia, I'm thirsty that must mean my brother or sister is thirsty. I got a good job. I got some new raise and some better position. That must mean this brother or sister that's beside me, they must want that same raise. The way this helped my family is the same way it would help their family. You just got a second wife? Oh, my brother over here probably wants a second wife. You just got a new house? That must mean my brother needs a new house. To love each other like ourselves. Not to be selfish. Always thinking about what I want and what I need and what makes me happy. But to look at each other with compassion. That is an order from the Most High. And these other nations, they don't have this law. They don't have these rules, these guidelines. Canada says it's lawful for a man to marry another man. Canada says it's lawful to be a drug addict and smoke weed all day. Canada says it's unlawful to run a red light. I don't see anywhere in their law that it says to be compassionate to one another. But these laws, statutes, and commandments, the nation of Israel has. These laws, statutes, and commandments separate us from other nations. Right? Matter of fact, Brock, y'all grab that verse for me in Deuteronomy. Grab Deuteronomy 4 and verse 6. Hey, shalom, sis. Shalom, sister Gigi. Yahweh Shema Lathan Bashim Yahshai. Thawada for tuning in, sis. Again, make sure you hit those sign-in links. Like, share, subscribe. All right, go ahead and bring out that verse when you got it.
Wakan, Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6. Keep therefore and do them.
Keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. Most High is saying, be brotherly. Be sisterly. Your body is a temple of the Most High. Treat yourself with love. Treat yourself with some dignity, some integrity. Have some honor. And treat your brothers and sisters the same. Keep reading.
For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
This is wisdom. This is our wisdom. Brotherhood is your wisdom. Sisterhood is your wisdom. This is what we're lacking in our community. We're lacking our wisdom. That's why it says in, I believe that's Hosea, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. They don't keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, and they are destroyed because of it. They are not good brothers, they are not good sisters, and they are destroyed because of it. Keep reading.
Which shall hear all these statutes and say,
Read.
this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Come. These other nations would look at us as a wise and understanding people. Look at the nation of Amalek, that fake Jew, the Jewish man over in Israel today, the bastard dwelling in Ashdod. Look at all their success, keeping our laws, statutes, and commandments. Keeping some of them, not all of them. Look at how far they have come as a nation of people, keeping our laws, statutes, and commandments. They own all the media. They have all the wealth in the world. They are a very successful people because there is wisdom in our laws. There is wisdom in being brotherly and sisterly. We got to understand that. Was that it on the verse?
Khan.
Grab Psalms chapter 139. Or Salaki, go to Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 13. That's what I want.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 13. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil.
The fear of the Lord is to hate evil. This is our laws. This is our commandments. These are our statutes. We're ordered to fear the Most High. We're ordered to hate evil. When you see that sister in that video saying, I only marry white, or I only date white, you see Kanye West marry Kim Kardashian. You see a sister talking about wanting to sleep around on her husband. You see another brother talking about some joint we're about to rob. You should hate that evil. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil. Hate things that destroy this brotherhood. See a sister holding a grudge towards her husband. You should hate that evil. See a brother wanting to avenge another man. You should hate that evil. Somebody getting ready to eat some pork. Hate that evil. Anything that tries to come between this family, anything that tries to destroy this family, you should hate that. These other nations trying to destroy us, trying to separate us. You should hate that. You should be in love with wanting to unify Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Actually, Khan, Brock Allah, grab Psalms chapter 139.
Khan.
I think it's 139 and 20.
Psalms chapter 139, verse 20.
Slaki, give me 1 sec. Psalms chapter 139. Khan, go ahead, read verse 20.
For they speak against thee wickedly, and thine enemies take thy name in vain.
Keep reading.
Verse 21. Do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee.
Khan, do I not hate them, O Lord, that hate thee? Is it not a righteous thing to hate what the Lord hates? To love what the Lord loves? To hate the people that try to destroy us? To hate the things that try to destroy us? That try to break up this family? Read some of those Willie Lynch letters. we're going to turn the dark-skinned slave against the light-skinned slave. You should hate that evil. I was on there's a social application called Clubhouse. And I was listening to some so-called light-skinned brother speak about issues in our community. And there was a whole gang of brothers, probably 10 brothers saying, what do you know about our problems? You're not black. You're light-skinned. You're confused. You're not our people. You don't know our problems. You understand? Christ said, judge not according to appearance. You understand? We shouldn't hate somebody because of the color of their skin. That's what the oppressor does. We shouldn't be judging people according to how they look, according to their appearance. These brothers on Clubhouse, they're like, nah, you're a light-skinned Negro. You're not one of us. You don't know our problems. You don't know our pains. You don't know the issues of a dark-skinned man in this country. Read that again from the top. Salaki, read that again from the top. You're on mute.
Karawakan. Psalm chapter 139, verse 20. For they speak against thee wickedly, and thy enemies take thy name in vain.
Read.
Verse 21. Do not I hate them, O Lord, and hate thee.
We need to hate what divides blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Keep reading.
Verse 20, Salakia. And am I not I grieved with those that rise up against thee?
Anything that tries to come between us. Anything that stops us from gathering together as a nation. Anything that comes between us keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. Keep reading.
Verse 22. I hate them with perfect hatred.
God.
I count them mine enemies.
God. This is a righteous brother saying, I hate them with perfect hatred. Anything that comes between this brotherhood, we should hate with a perfect hatred. Anything that comes between how we treat each other as a people, we should hate with a perfect hatred. You understand? Not only hate that with a perfect hatred, but we need to be in love with the truth. Love the Most High with all our heart, soul, and mind. We love the Most High by keeping these commandments, by obeying Him and loving our brothers and sisters. We need to be in love with this truth. You understand? Matter of fact, Raquel, if you could grab in the New Testament, John 16 and verse 13.
Karawakan. Is the book of John, chapter 16, verse 13. Howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come.
The spirit of what?
The spirit of truth is come.
God. The spirit of truth. People being raised in that Christian church would have you believe that there's some ghost that's going to live inside of you and teach you something. Some ghost that you watched out of a horror film is going to come and live inside of you and dwell in you and teach you the laws, statutes, and commandments. Teach you how to follow the Most High. Got to understand this Bible isn't some fairy tale. But that spirit of truth, the Holy Spirit, we should be fans. We should be the Most High's biggest fan. Loving everything that He loves. Loving all of these laws, statutes, and commandments. Loving being good brothers. Loving being good sisters. Lucky, I got a quote from my Ottawa, Officers of Badia. Salaki, let me loosely paraphrase what he said. He said, real niggas don't let other brothers suffer.
Khan.
A real nigga is a good brother. Somebody who loves his people. Doesn't let his people suffer. Protects his brothers. Suffers for his brothers. Ready to die for his brothers. You understand? We should be in love with the truth. We should be in love with these laws, statutes, and commandments. And uniting this brotherhood. Which is exactly what Christ came to do. To join the two sticks back together. To join blacks with Hispanics. To join blacks with Native Americans. To unite with one another and treat each other good. With honor and integrity. You understand? Salakia, let me let's jump to Corinthians. Let's jump to 1 Corinthians chapter 13. We'll start at verse 4.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 13, verse 4. Charity suffered long.
Charity what?
Charity suffered long.
Come. Salaki Brakala. What does charity mean?
Salaki is kindness, brotherhood.
Let me pull it up. We're in 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 4. This is the Strong's definition for charity. It's the Greek word agape. The Thayer's definition is brotherly love. affection, goodwill, love, benevolence. The Strong's definition is love. That is affection or benevolence. Specifically, a love feast and love. You understand? This is that agape love that your Christian pastor loves to speak about. Your Christian pastor is sitting there on Sunday talking about how special and wonderful this agape love is. Meanwhile, he's telling you how to find it, what you should be looking for. How do you receive this agape love? Read that from the top.
1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4. Charity suffereth long
Agape
and is
love,
kind.
agape love suffereth long. Agape love, it don't feel good. Doesn't feel nice. It's not something that you wake up in the morning and say, I want to have it. I can't wait to have this agape love. Agape love suffereth long. You understand? Agape love suffereth long. Read that from the top.
Charity suffereth long and is kind.
Not only does it suffer long, but it's kind. You're married, you've been married for 10 years. You're tired of hearing your wife's voice. Tired of listening to her nag all the time. Charity suffers. Means you take it. Your husband's a burden. You do all the cleaning all the time and you raise the kids. You're taking care of the kids and your husband's lazy, good for nothing, doesn't do this, doesn't do that, doesn't call me, doesn't talk to me. Agape love suffers. You're a sister. You take it. Not only do you take it, but you suffer for a long time. And after you're done suffering, you're kind to that brother. You're a brother. That sister gets on your nerves. You suffer it. And you be kind to that sister. Scriptures say, husbands, don't be bitter towards your wives. Suffer it. Be kind to that woman. Be kind to that man. That's what agape love is. Keep reading.
Charity envieth not.
And it doesn't envy what another brother has. You don't envy what your brother owns. You don't envy his ox, his ass, his belongings. You don't envy, you don't covet what he owns. You don't covet his wife. You don't desire to have the things that he has. You're a sister. You're watching some love story on TV. You're sitting there saying, oh, I wish my man talked to me like that. I wish my man would buy me those gifts. I wish my man had that job. Shouldn't be envying what another person has. But we should be uplifting one another. Be happy for one another. Look at another brother and say, hey, The Most High has blessed you with that house, that car, those beautiful wives that are in order, those beautiful children that are obedient. You should say, Most High in Christ, brother, I'm happy for you. Can you share some of that knowledge? Teach me how to be better? Shouldn't be envying what other people have. Keep reading.
Charity vaunted not itself, is not puffed up.
God. It's not proud. It's not prideful. Sometimes in a relationship, you shouldn't always take the high road. Nothing wrong with looking at your rib and saying, Salakia sis, it's my fault, my bad. I didn't mean to offend you. You don't always need to be out there proving that you're right, proving that you're always right and you're never wrong. Shouldn't be proud. Brotherhood and sisterhood is about gaining each other. It's about unity, unifying brothers and sisters. Nothing wrong with saying Salakia sis. Didn't mean to offend you. Love on that sister. Try to gain that sister. Not try to push her away from you. Prove to her that you were right and she was wrong. Brotherhood is about unity. Unifying the black household. Keep reading.
Verse 5. Though not behave itself unseemly, unseemly, seeking not her own, is not easily provoked.
Salakia, read that from the top.
Doth not behave itself unseemly.
It doesn't behave itself unseemly, meaning inappropriate. You understand? Some of you sisters posting some of these pictures on Facebook. Got your breasts out, your ass out, everything showing. Love doesn't behave itself unseemly, inappropriate. Your brother, you need to watch what you say. Watch what you're typing out on Facebook and social media. Pay attention to how you're carrying yourself. Because if you don't love. You don't love your brothers, you don't love your sisters, you don't love your wife, you don't love the truth. You don't love the laws, statutes, and commandments. You don't love the Most High. Love doesn't behave itself inappropriately. Keep reading.
Seeking not her own.
Doesn't seek her own. You understand? Love isn't selfish. When you read this scripture, you should understand that this is the bar. Understand? This is the bar that you set for yourself as a man to measure whether you are a good man or a terrible brother. You're a brother that loves, or you're just another wicked Negro in the world. You understand? This is love. Keep reading.
Is not easily provoked,
And it's not easily provoked. You understand? Slow to anger. Slow to wrath. Shouldn't be quick to be cussing everybody out. Quick to getting in another brother's face. Quick to yelling at your rib. Quick to yelling at your husband. Should be easily slow to anger. Not easily provoked. Not easily offended. You understand? It's an easy thing to be angry. Not only is it an easy thing to be angry, it feels good. Feels good to be angry. Feels good to pick up a phone and throw it out the window. Feels good to pick up your husband's laptop and throw it on the floor. Feels good to do those things. To be overly emotional and do whatever it is you feel like doing. But that is not love. Love suffers long and is kind. Keep reading.
thinketh no evil,
Doesn't even think evil. You're a brother. You wouldn't think about getting rid of your rib. You're a sister. You wouldn't think about leaving your husband. Love doesn't think any evil. It's not even a thought. It's an evil thing to throw your wife away. Keep reading.
verse 6. Rejoice not in iniquity, but rejoice in the truth.
God, it loves the truth. It loves brotherhood. Love loves sisterhood. Loves black on black love. Hispanic love. Native Indian love. Loves unity. Loves seeing brothers and sisters get along. And you rejoice in that. To be a sister and say, regardless of what happens, regardless of what my mother says, regardless of what my sister says, doesn't matter that my husband has 5 different wives, I am staying with my husband because I'm a daughter of Zion. I'm an honorable sister, a sister of integrity. And I love the truth. I love these laws, statutes, and commandments. I love the Most High. I love my brothers. I love my sisters. And nobody can take that away from me. Keep reading.
Verse 7. Beareth all things,
Love bears all things. All things, not some things, all things. A Agape love is not about what you receive from somebody. Agape love is about what you give to somebody else. What you do for your brothers and your sisters. How you conduct yourself as an Israelite and how you treat your people. What you do for your people. That's what love is. Stop that, grab Romans chapter 9. Romans chapter 8 and verse 7. Salaki.
Khan. Romans chapter 8, verse 7. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God.
Read that again.
Because the carnal mind is enmity against God.
Read that one more time.
Because the carnal mind is enmity against God.
The carnal mind is enmity against God. What's another word for carnal, Brock Yalla?
Flesh.
Khan, give me another word.
One second, I don't want.
Khan. Salaki, let me try this. When you're hungry, why do you get food? When you're hungry, why do you eat?
Because the body asks for it.
Okay, the body asks for it. So being carnal, you're saying is to fulfill the desires of your flesh. Right? Khan. And so you like playing video games.
Khan.
Why do you play video games? What drives you to play video games?
So like boredom.
God. All right, let me just give it to you for time because we're about to end the class. Actually, Salaki, I didn't realize I'm over the time. So we'll end here. Read that from the top one more time.
Romans chapter 8, verse 7. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God.
The carnal mind is enmity against God. Right? Enmity is to be against. Enmity is to be at war against something. And the carnal mind is at war with the Most High. Another word for carnal is being emotional. Following your feelings. Or I feel hungry, I'm going to go get food. I feel like leaving my wife, or I don't feel like talking to my wife, so I'm not going to talk to her. I don't feel like dealing with my kids, so I'm not going to deal with them. I don't feel like going to my brother, to him and him alone, so I'm not going to do it. Your emotions are at enmity against God. Your feelings and your opinions do not matter when it comes to being a good brother. The way you feel gets in the way of you obeying the Most High, of you being a good brother and loving the Most High. Read that from the top.
Because the carnal mind is enmity against God.
John, your emotions are at war with God. Stop being so damn emotional. And start being obedient. Keep reading.
For it is not subject to the law of God, neither
It is
indeed
not.
can be.
It is not subject to the law of God. Your emotions are not in obedience to the laws, statutes, and commandments. Your emotions are not in obedience to being a good brother or sister. Doesn't matter if you feel angry. Doesn't matter if you feel to punch a hole through the wall. Doesn't matter if you feel to yell at your wife. Doesn't matter if you feel to put hands on your wife. Doesn't matter how you feel. It matters what you do and how you conduct yourself as a brother or sister. Because your emotions don't care about being a good brother. Your emotions don't care about the laws of God. Your carnal mind is at war with the Most High. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we need to start to obey what the Most High says. Don't bear a grudge against your brothers and sisters. Why? Because the law says so. Go to your brother, him and him alone. Why? Because the law says so. Rebuke your brothers. Why? Because the law says so. You understand? Brotherhood is obedience. And with that, we're going to end Tuesday's night brotherhood class. Let's clap it up. We're going to give the ISUPK security announcements. We're the ISUPK, start out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. They need transportation. The teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which a brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 to 10. Ma'ashra means tenth in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, we have the Feast of Purim coming up, which is on Monday, February the 14th. You can read about that in the book of Esther, chapter 9, verses 21 to verse 30. If any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. With that said, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers and one courtesy salute to the sisters. Man of Israel, Imajim, which means stand. We give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Imajim Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yahaba Shem Yahshua, Yad Yamatah. Turn and face the sisters. Men of Israel, Imajim Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar, Bashim Yahushai, Yad Yamatah. Class dismissed. All right, make sure you hit those sign out links before the class ends. I'm going to get them up in the chat right now. All right, Shalom, Israel.
I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord's Passover.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. This is the I.S.U.P.K. down in Florida. I'm Captain of 10,000 Shemoy Yahweh. We here to let you know 53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida. It's going down in South Florida, Cocoa Beach.
Friday, April 15th, 2022.
The lamb, the wine, the brotherhood, the sisterhood, you understand? Good music, good weather, palm trees, the whole nine.
This is going to be glorious. Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
April 15th and the 16th. Don't just book for the 15th. Book for the 15th and the 16th.
It's going down Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
Moses told Pharaoh we need 3 days to be able to go out into the wilderness and serve our power the way he commands. You're going to have to get that off with your boss, with your slave master. So make sure you in the building. Cocoa Beach, Florida, April 15th to 16th, 2022. It's going down. We'll see y'all there. Shalom.
144,000. I'm just trying to make 144,000. 144,000.